Hi everyone, welcome to our demo on the admin perspective of Purdue IronHacks. So as we saw earlier, we showed how participants actually log into the platform and access everything about their hack. Now we're going to show how you can access all the information as an admin. So to access the admin portal, you're going to click on your name over here, and then you're going to have a nice admin button over here as well. So if we click that, we're pulled up with an admin dashboard that have all the current hacks in our platform. And if we click on fall 2022, that's going to open all the settings for that specific hack. So once we click that, we're greeted with all this information, and we're going to walk through it right now. So in the main hack page, you can change the name, the ID of that hack. So currently we have fall-2022 for that, the description of the hack, and any information that you may enable when you first create the hack. So we have publishing of the hack, so making sure that it displays on the actual page. Registration opening, which will allow users to start registering for that hack. And also any display options. So as you saw with that hack, in the hack, the participants can access certain tabs. This is where we enable those certain tabs here. And then the last bit is just a registration survey. So if you want to attach a registration survey to collect any information, you can add the link at the bottom here. And then also the difficulty specification, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. The next big tab that we have is cohorts. And in cohorts, this is where we can split participants into groups. And we split them into groups either using random sample block or purposive sampling. It further allows applying treatments to cohorts in just a notebook or a notebook with summaries. And we can keep adding cohorts to further split this as well. So as you can see, we have our 2 cohorts assigned, and then also the assigned users for each cohort as well. And as you can see, they're equally split between the 195 users currently. We can add more groups and reassign these. So we can always make sure that we can either have a completely random cohort assignment, or we can have a purposive sampling where we can assign users based on skill as well. The next tab is registration. And the registration just shows the users that we have. This also includes admins, as well as when users register. It'll take about a minute to get all the users from our database, but as you can see, it pulls up all 195 users as well. If you need the actual information for each user, you can also download a report right here as well, and that'll download an Excel file for you. Next, we have the hack overview. This is a basic markdown editor, and essentially that hack overview that we landed on when we first opened up the hack, this is all the information that's displayed there. Very simple markdown editor, and you can edit and publish it as needed. The results tab shows what submission opportunities are available, and then what submission opportunities have been published. So we can always and we also show any information that is necessary to describe what the results actually show. So things such as the MSPE, MAPE, this is all done in a markdown editor. So very easy to set up as well. Next is the rules. This is also a basic markdown editor, same as the overview. So any information that you need to display on your rules, we can display it here for you. Next is submissions, and we have blocks for these. So we can create submissions, and that uses a markdown editor. So if we click edit on this one, we can create the name of it, the submission ID, the deadline for each one, and the survey for each one. And then we have the last bit, which shows our markdown, which has any information that the user needs to actually create that submission. And then we can enable submission options such as a summary, tags, references, as we saw earlier. And we can also make sure that we require any files from the user. We can also attach a solution if you have any data that the user needs to go against, such as a ground truth. We can attach that solution here and that'll go automatically into our system so that it can be auto-graded. Next, we have tasks. So let's say you have 2-3 cohorts that you need to split between, and you have a slightly different task for each one, depending on what your treatment may be. We can design different tasks and assign them to those cohorts as well. So currently, all users for this hack only had one task, but if necessary, we can have different task documents that have slight variations, and you can edit that as well. And all that's needed for that is just a simple markdown, a title, and your task survey. The next bit is tutorials. So this is where we create and design our tutorials and upload them for users. And this is simply just a markdown editor. So we title each one, and then we also create the markdown for each one as well. Inside each one, we also make sure we link a notebook that's through our GitHub. And then users can also click through that and our YouTube to get any information that they need, and also make sure that they understand that information as well. For examples, this is where we have our split cohort treatments. So one is a summary and one is a notebook. So in here, this will just be a markdown editor, which shows the summary from a previous participant or one that we created ourselves, depending on the treatment. And then the notebooks will be of a similar design as well. Next, we have notes. This is any admin notes that we may create during the hack. So as you can see, we need to make sure that a certain participant needed to access their workbook. And this helps admins organize or make sure that we're all on the same page. Banners are the next tab, and that is basically there will be a thin little banner at the top for each user, which displays any information that we want to project or that we announced. So such as our task has released, or we have an upcoming session with a guest, or we have a video for those users on a tutorial or going through the data. And this allows us to really create a dynamic environment for our participants to make sure that the platform is always active for them. And the last bit is extensions, where we have our calendar. So you can take your Google link, plop it in there, and then we can show that on the calendar page for you as well. And that concludes our demo of the admin page of how to set up your experiments and hacks in our portal. Thank you so much.